Hi everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited to be bringing you this. I'm going to be talking about a fairly new company called Scent Trunk, and what it is, it's a monthly subscription, sort of like Birchbox, but instead of getting a variety of different kinds of things, like with Birchbox you get makeup and skincare, this one is purely for fragrances, which I think is pretty cool. And if you're in the market for a new fragrance, or you just happen to love fragrances and you want to try something out, this is a pretty cool idea. When I was talking to the company, they were calling themselves kind of like the Netflix of fragrances, which I just thought was really cool and a really neat way of putting it. Now, I've talked about on my channel before that I'm not a super crazy fragrance person, not because I don't like fragrances, but because I have bad reactions to them. But I love smelling new things, and sometimes you just find the right scent that just takes you to a specific time or place, and it's just magical. I really like that, so that's why I really like this idea. That's why I like something like this, because it's all sample sizes, so it's not huge bottles of stuff, and it's stuff you get to try, and then if you like the product you can buy the full size, and if you don't, well, you can always see what's in your next box. So I finally got this in the mail today, and this is just hiding my address stuff. This is just the envelope that the package came in, and I haven't even opened it at all yet. So this is going to be like a first impressions and then a review. But I want to just kind of give some background information about the company first. So I'm really happy that they ship to Canada as well as the US. A lot of subscription boxes don't ship to Canada, or just newly shipping to Canada, so that's a huge plus for me. There are a couple of subscription options. It's not just monthly boxes, and I'll have the details for the monthly box and the seasonal box, which is slightly different as opposed to getting a box every month. You would get a box 4 times a year, corresponding with the seasons. Online you can buy the full size of a product if you really fall in love with the perfume. And the way that they choose scents for you is by filling out a scent profile online. So you can kind of put the things that you like and the things that you dislike. And that way things will be a little bit more personalized to you. So that's just some background information about the company and what sort of services they provide. So I'm really excited to open this up and see what's inside. So inside the envelope, there is a little box like this that says Scent Trunk, which I just think is really cute. It kind of reminds me of jewelry boxes that you might find at like Charms or People's. So I open the box and I see a few pieces of paper and a little velvet pouch which contains the samples. So here are 3 cards that tell me about what the fragrances are and give some detailed information about it. So let's go over the cards first before I try the perfumes. The first one I see here is from a company called Perfumes by Terri, and this is a perfume called Frollino Lavanda. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it really does make me think lavender, and it's a very pretty purple color. I really like the idea of these cards, very helpful. So it gives a description of the fragrance, and this one says, "It smells like a fight between the fresh lavender note and the warm, foody butter. As it settles down, other notes begin to emerge, and you could swear somebody is in the kitchen baking some jam shortbread cookies. The dry down is much softer, and it's the stage I like best, less foody and more subdued." So the top note is lavender and butter, the middle is vanilla and caramel, and the base is blackberry. It's spelled kind of like bass, but I assume it's base. So it also has a little thing where it has the time of day. So you can see, like it gives a suggestion, I guess, on what time of day it would be best for. Because the sun is in color and the moon is grayed out, I'm going to say that this is a daytime kind of fragrance. It's got a little battery on here to tell you how long the fragrance should last, which I think is really neat. So this sounds right up my alley, like lavender and butter, and smells like food and cookies. I'm really excited for that. Next one is from Olympic Orchids, and it's called Red Cattleya. And I will have all the fragrances I'm talking about here listed in the description box below as well. But this one says, You've just walked into a Victorian hothouse packed with the most exotic orchid species, brought back by explorers from jungles all over the world. The scent of the blooming Cattleyas envelop you, a soft, sumptuous, fruity floral blend with notes of citrus, peach, apricot, melon, gardenia, violets, and lilac. So the top note says citrus is peach, middle apricot and melon, and the base is lilac and vanilla. And it also has the sun highlighted for time of day, and it has a slightly longer longevity than the last one. So these cards are really cute and really helpful, I think. And the last one is by Note Fragrances. It's called Honey Blossom. And this one says, as spring unfolds into summer, wildflower honey can be found at almost every farm market across the nation. Its shades of amber hues are stunning as the light shines through the glass bottles. This fragrance was inspired to capture the moment of soothing the senses, when color, texture, and aroma harmoniously come together and transform your mood into comforting bliss. So the top note, honey and orange, middle, pear, tuberose. I love pear scents, super excited about this. And the base is frankincense and sandalwood. So I'm not quite sure about this one just because I do have a little bit of a sensitivity to kind of sandalwood, frankincense stuff, but we'll test it out and see. There's only one way to find out. I really just have to test fragrances and see if they're going to react well with my body chemistry. So it's also got the time of day, the sun, and it's got a fairly long longevity as well. So inside the little velvet pouch, as soon as I opened it, I could almost smell that first one, the lavender and the butter. So it's got these really cute little samples here. Now this is not a full sample bottle. This one is not the lavender one. I wonder if it might have spilled out a little bit in the bag, because it looks like it's supposed to be the same size as the Olympic Orchids one, and the Olympic Orchids one has about twice the amount. So I'm really excited to try these out. So here's the Frollino Lavanda sample size, and it really does smell delicious. It's an interesting blend of notes in this. Like, I can really smell how sweet it is, but it's not an overpoweringly sweet. Like, this is a really, really nice, different fragrance. And that's what I like about this too, is that they don't just have kind of the fragrances that you would find at like Sephora or at like a drugstore. These are going to be different kind of like indie brands that you might not have otherwise heard of, which is also a reason why I like subscription boxes, because they introduce you to things you might not have otherwise heard of. But this is really quite nice. So this isn't going to be a full review of the perfumes themselves because I'm not wearing these every day, but I keep smelling this. Like, I'm not being irritated by that, by the scent, and I can be irritated by scents super easily. So I like that. This smells really good. This one's a winner. The vanilla and the butter and the caramel and the lavender. Like, I don't smell as much lavender as I do the like butter, vanilla, caramel, which really makes it smell like a cookie. It doesn't seem like a very spring summer fragrance to me. This is definitely something that I would love to wear in the like fall winter, because it's very comforting and it's a really nice scent. That's all I can say, is that it's a really, really nice scent. So I'm gonna go wash this one off, and then I'm going to try out another one. So I think the next one I'm going to try is the Olympic Orchids one, the red Cattleya. This is the one that has the notes of citruses and peach, and as I really love citrusy scents. Oh, this is more in your face for sure than the lavender one. I don't know if I like this one very much. I'm trying to let the description there kind of like take me to another place. How nice it would be to be walking through a Victorian hothouse full of orchids right now. It's like 6 degrees where I am in Canada, and it's really freaking cold. I would love to be somewhere warm. But what I'm really impressed with these. There's no like chemicals in this that are making me feel ill. I think a lot of times some perfumes put way too much alcohol in them as well, and they just really just don't sit well with me. And it's almost instantly like my nose plugs up and I just hate it. Because I just love perfumes so much because they do transport you to a different place. Yeah, I'm coming around to this now. I don't like it as much as the first one, the lavender butter one. But this one is nice. See, this one is something that I'd probably wear more at nighttime because it's a little bit spicier. And there's no real spices in this. But it smells somewhat spicier. There is base notes of lilac and vanilla in this, but I'm not really getting much of this. I am getting, I can smell a bit of the peach now. But this would be like, I'm picturing sort of like a romantic date night. Sort of like the middle of July when it's warm, but it's not like sweltering summer heat, and the sun is just setting and you're like walking along a boardwalk, and like just, that's kind of what this scent makes me think of. Okay, so I'm gonna go wash that one off and then try the last one. Okay, so the last one is the Honey Blossom one. So let's try this one out. This bottle is more of like the traditional kind of sample bottle, like you would get from perfume samples from like Sephora. I can really smell the honey. I can sense a little bit that it's probably the sandalwood frankincense base notes that are not sitting very well with me, but this is nice. I think the order that I tried them in is the order that I really like them. Like that first one is something that I would potentially purchase the full size of. I actually really, really like it, and I keep thinking about it. Like I just want to bathe myself in that fragrance. But this one's nice. I like honey scents. I wish I could smell more of the pear. But it's very sweet and gentle. This is definitely more of a daytime fragrance. Like I said, all three of them were kind of labeled as daytime fragrances, but for me, I'd say like the first one and this one are more daytime, and the middle one was more of an evening for me, personal preference. This one is definitely a daytime, like, I don't know, walking through a field of flowers kind of scent. I love that perfumes can transport you to a different time or make you think of something you might not have thought of. Like I'm just imagining wearing like a pretty beautiful dress, walking through a field of flowers with my flower crowns on and smelling like this, which would be nice. Yeah, so I'm pretty impressed with Scent Trunk, I gotta say, especially for that first fragrance. I gotta look into that a little bit more because that smelled so really good. So just the disclaimer that I was sent these products to talk to you guys about, but this is honestly my real honest opinions. I'm not going to be lying to you guys. Don't worry about that. This is my channel, so I'm all about telling the truth. I'm all about giving honest reviews. I think for the price, like you're looking at roughly $5 per sample. Now that can seem like a crazy amount, depending on how you look at it. And if you're not into fragrances, then you can see why you wouldn't want to spend something like that. But I would even suggest looking at something like the seasonal one, because you might come across something that you really, really like unexpectedly. And that's the thing I will say again with subscription boxes, is that you find a lot of unexpected things. It's a lot of things that you might not have thought you would like, but then you end up loving, or you don't like. And what's the worst that happens? You spend $15 or $20, get one box, and it's terrible and you hate it, and then you cancel. I mean, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it's just not what you thought it was going to be. But I'm pretty happy with this fragrance set. I actually think that I will get use out of these fragrances as opposed to other ones that I've been sent from other subscription boxes, which will probably just end up being tossed. And even like the free samples you get at Sephora, they're really generic. And a lot of the times they all smell the same. And they tend to be the same thing. Like there's very few that I've tried and go, ooh, I love this. Like my Nirvana Black is one that I've got the sample of and just fell in love with. But it's very, very rare that something like that happens. So if you like fragrances, and especially if you like different fragrances and you want to smell unique, you want to have a signature scent, I would suggest giving this box a try. I do have a coupon code, which I will link down below. So if you guys are interested in trying out the subscription, you can use my subscription code and get 25% off of your first box. So it's a good way to try it out, kind of low pressure. I believe shipping is free as well, but I will check into that and I will include that in the description box. But for like $15, free shipping, that's a pretty good deal, and you get 25% off of that. I really like trying different things, and I really gotta go put that lavender perfume back on because it just, oh, it's delicious. Anyway, enough about that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any questions for me, please leave them down below. And I will also have the contact information for the company, their website, so you can always go check out their information there with even more details about the company and what they do. And thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope this was interesting for you. This was really an interesting experience for me and a really cool thing for me to try out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.